As always, we have an array of talented quarterbacks in Central Texas. From a statistical standpoint, and having done Stats Plus, I'm kind of well acquainted with these stats, but I'm really impressed with the seasons, and I sent y'all the stats. I'm not going to list them off here. That China Springs Cash McCollum, Lake Belton's Eli Mascarenas, and Cameron Yo's Braylan Drake are having. Now, I know DJ saw Drake against Conley, correct? He saw Cameron Conley play. We don't really see Lake Belton a lot. But if you had one play to win the state championship and you had a choice between one of these three QBs, who are you taking?
Cash Davis McCollum.
Cash Davis McCollum. She knows his middle name because she wrote that feature last year.
Mr. Bull Durham.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's Cash Davis after Crash Davis. That is pretty freaking good.
I mean, I've seen him do it. Like, they were in the state championship last year. And yeah, a lot of the reason that they were able to come back in that second half was because of their quarterback. It takes a lot to be able to put together that length of a possession time and then set up your kicker for the game-winning field goal. So yeah, I mean, he's really good. Even when they lose, he's been in games. And I mean, the Mean Green are going to have a really good quarterback.
Agreed. He's a D1 guy for a reason. Chad, what do you think?
If I had to take one of the three that you mentioned, yeah, it would be Cash because he did it last year. Now, this isn't anything against him in particular, but just across the board, high school, college, and NFL, I haven't seen very much just artful quarterback play this year, where the guy kind of has that thing where he knows where he's going with the ball and he's gonna slice you up, like Tom Brady used to do, and that type of thing. I remember Tanner Mordecai one time against South Lake Carroll.
I was just as you were saying that, I'm sitting there with Tanner Mordecai running through my head.
Yeah. And I haven't really seen that. I mean, the best thing I've seen is guys that made a play or two when they needed to make it. And I think maybe the pendulum is swung towards defenses a little bit in our football world. Defenses have figured out how to defend these pass every down offenses, and so that's my answer to this question.
Interesting. I'd have to marinate on that a little bit more before I decided
agree or disagree.
Yeah, I decided if you were right or not, because I feel like you're wrong a lot, but I am going with y'all's answer on Cash. I mean, just as you said, he's a guy that's been there, done that, won a state championship. It's quite impressive that even as they've lost a couple games, still hasn't thrown a pick. 18 touchdowns, 0 picks, completing 72% of his passes. Now, the Lake Belton QB, who I did see play on ESPN one night on a Thursday night, Eli, he's having a great year, completing 75% of his passes. He's only thrown 1 pick, has pretty talented receiver to throw to as well. That makes a difference. But yeah, and Braylan Drake, I was actually watching some highlights of the Cameron Lorena game. He's a 3A quarterback, a little bit shorter. And they were running, at least in the highlights that I saw, they were running a lot of kind of passes into the flat and trying to get their guys into space and see if they could, make Lorena miss and get to the end zone. I think Cash is the real deal, and as DJ said, I think North Texas is getting a pretty good QB. So, Chad, what were you gonna say?
Well, Caden Roberts, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
From Lorena. I know he wasn't one of the three that you mentioned, but since Cameron played, then that kind of opens the door to him. 62 of 100, 7 touchdowns so far this season, 807 yards. Those are pretty good stats too. And Jaden Porter has, his best receiver has missed a few games. If not, I mean, he's only played in 1 game. So That's according to their stats, which it looks like are updated on Max Preps. But Cason Taylor was out for several weeks, so Roberts has been doing that without his main guys to throw to, and that makes a big difference because look at Patrick Mahomes first week of the season. He doesn't have his guy Kelsey there, and he looks very human.
Fair point. The game against Cameron, it was the Braylan Henry show. He had a just incredible game with 4 touchdowns, and including maybe 5 total touchdowns because he threw a halfback pass for a touchdown as well. So
yeah,
I think Caden Roberts maybe called to do a little bit less than some of these other quarterbacks we're talking about. But yes, as I said, there are a lot of good ones in Central Texas, and again, as I said, I think Ty Brown, you could throw him into that mix. He's having a really solid season for Midway.